checking in with your body to ask body what it needs right now. Awesome. And some of you might be joining us, and we're just starting in a practice today. So I'm just seated so that you can have an easy visual of me right now. But feel free to lie down in any way. And so our class and our focus tonight is exploring the Kleshas. And so as we arrive here on our mat, just taking a moment to find a comfortable position. Beautiful. And if you're just arriving, if you can mute yourself, just so I hear a little bit of sound externally. So just noticing that you are muted. Beautiful. So arriving here, and as you meet yourself on the mat, can you arrive as you are? Your eyes might be open as you might be still in transition, or you might be in a safe space where you can feel at ease to close your eyes. And so if you're still in movement and in transition, just take a few mindful breaths and just be aware of your surroundings so that you create an anchor of arrival within your movement. And those of you that are at home, whether you're seated or lying down, start to feel an awareness of creating a space for yourself, creating a sanctuary for yourself right here, right now, wherever you are. With that invitation of having the eyes opened and softened, receiving images towards you, and also that option of closing your eyes. And if it feels right, placing one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. And just taking a moment to observe your breath. So not needing to change it, but just observing your breath as it is right now. Is it deep and regular? Or does it feel shallow and irregular? You might notice that the breath feels higher in the chest. And as you focus your attention on your breath, you might feel it drop lower into the belly. Taking some time to feel your attention just ride the wave of breath. And noticing that breath propels life. That breath propels life. Each time you inhale, there's an inflow, there's a receiving of life flowing energy into your body. So can you be open to receive this life-giving energy? And each time you exhale, observe that energy gently leaving the body with a release or a soft letting go. This expansion and receiving on the inhale, and this letting go on the exhale. You might notice as you follow your breath that there might be a gentle pause in the breath that happens spontaneously, a kuvala kumbhaka. And as we take the time to notice our breath, we can see how the breath helps to center our mind. And it removes this energy of inertia, of tamas. And within tamas can sometimes be this qualities of the mind, of spiritual forgetting, of the first klesha, avidya, this spiritual forgetting. As you allow awareness to rest in the breath and just riding the wave, and this awareness of cleansing the mind and allowing the mind to focus and calm, we're increasing our awareness, which allows us to be mindful of the body. Maybe you notice sensations of ease and space within the body. You might notice as you travel your awareness through your body places of discomfort and sensation. Can you allow all aspects of yourself to be here? And now taking the hand that's on your belly and placing it on your heart as well. So you have both hands resting on your heart. The heart is a gesture. So this gesture of the heart is called hridaya. And it is a gesture of the spiritual heart for seeking refuge, seeking divine refuge. And hridaya means heart. So when we cultivate this mudra, we notice this inner refuge, this doorway through the heart to remembering our true self and our connection with divine. This vidya, this awareness, this knowing. When we forget our spiritual forgetting, sometimes avidya is translated as ignorance. And this shala translates it as innocence of our divine nature. So as we take a moment to pause here, this gesture directs the breath to the heart, cultivating a sense of trust and safety. Allowing us to acknowledge our feelings and exploring the dimensions of any challenges that we're facing in our life right now. And this gesture helps us calm the heart and release stress-related tension from the chest, the breath, as it instills this place of confidence, lengthening the breath. So, from this awareness of when it feels right, just to release the hands from this gesture and to open the heart, we can move into the body to open the body and connect into ourself, as the body is the house, is the vehicle for our spirit and our soul. And as we connect into the heart center, we can feel this awareness of expansion and this boundless love. So you're going to take a moment just to move around a tiny bit. If you're in heart bed, draw the legs in, roll over to the side. And if you're seated, you might just take a moment just to extend the legs. Shake them out. We're going to go into a little practice of opening the heart and nourishing the spine. So we're going to do this through the spinal waves of cat-cow. If you need a little support underneath your knees, feel free to have that. You're just going to feel the touch of the hands on the floor, stacking under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And as you exhale, just let all the breath out. Let the head release down, the back door of the heart open as it reaches to sky. And on your rhythm, your timing, inhale, allow the pelvis to tilt forward, the belly to expand, the heart and the chest, gentle gaze forward. Front of the heart, center of the heart opening. And just flowing at your timing, just spine away through this. If being on your hands and knees doesn't work, you can be on your forearms, your elbows. You can even do this seated. See if you can go into your body as you meet your body in interoception. Just taking a moment to honor the body. You might feel when it's right for you to pause in child's pose, and some of you might feel, oh, the body just wants to express a little bit more. Maybe you take your hands a little bit farther forward and take a moment to inhale, exhale, and just push up into downward dog. And walk it out. Moving the body is, for most people, the easiest form to come into Hatha Yoga, to start to feel the temple of the spirit. And the body allows us to sense and experience and move through the world, helping us to release avidya, the spiritual forgetting. So as you come down, just pause in child's pose. Arms can go off to the side. You can go to the other side. Noticing that the spiritual forgetting is the root cause and the fertile ground for all the other seeds of the kleshas to sprout and manifest. So we have asmita, which is the awareness of the ego. We have raga, which is attachment, and vesha, which is aversion, and then abhinivesha, clinging to life, clinging to body or fear. When you're ready, we're just gonna come up and just sit for a moment. We're taking some support. Pranayama is really helpful to release the hold of the ego, and a beautiful mudra that I wanted to go into, which is Yana Mudra, and that's taking the index and the thumb together. And there's a beautiful analogy that I was taking some time to just go into the book of Joseph LePage, and it was quite beautiful. One of the awarenesses that I read, that the symbolism behind this mudra is the index finger is the symbolism of ego, the separation, the personality, and the thumb is signifying the divine self, the divine universal consciousness. And as we touch the index and the thumb together, we realize our wholeness. And the three fingers, the middle, the ring, and the pinky, as we rest the back of the hands on our legs, the three fingers are a symbolism of the aspects of nature that are within us, around us, within everything. The gunas, raja, tamas, sattva. And this releasing of the gunas back into their state of equilibrium. And just taking a moment to notice the touch of the fingers, feel the circle that is created, this remembering of this gesture of the wholeness of who you are. And there might be an awareness of the ego that is filtering into your life right now. And this sense of personality, of separation, of all the roles that we take on, creating thoughts and biases, coloring our perception. As you feel your breath, just notice how the breath is shifting from holding the mudra. And just take notice of counting the length of your inhalation and the length of your exhalation. For example, inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Just do a couple rounds of noticing your breath, the length of inhale and exhale. Resonant breathing. And then choosing the lowest number, whether it's the inhale or the exhale, and just even out your breath. Remember at any time that you're exploring pranayama and you feel a disturbance in your nervous system, or the body or the mind asks you to stop, always stop and let go. Take a few breaths out the mouth. Sometimes lying down is helpful, drawing the legs into the chest or reaching the legs in the air. And if it resonates with you, you can allow the exhalation to become longer. Let's say your inhalation was a count of 3 and you were balancing 3, 3. You can now see if it resonates with you to lengthen by even increasing the exhalation by 2 times. So if your inhalation was 3, your exhalation can now become 6 without forcing. It feels right for you. Just letting the breath go and letting the hand gesture go. Jnana Mudra, this gesture of awakening to higher knowledge. Extend the legs and give them a shake up. And then as we connect to that feeling of raga, so this attraction, just to explore it, just notice, what are you attracted to in your practice right now? So is there a mantra that you're enjoying doing? Is there a certain asana flow that is coming in? What is resonating with you right now in your practice? And just take a moment to let yourself just explore that on your own. What does it mean to self-guide yourself into what you're feeling attracted to in your practice? What are you drawn to right now? I'm just going to take about 5 to 7 minutes here and just to explore this awareness of movement, coming into raga. Taking note what you receive from this part of your practice right now. Is there a sense of pleasure? Is there a sense of nourishment? And as you take a moment over the next minute or so, just to pause and just feel the effects of moving into raga, into what is attracting you through body and mind for this sense of pleasure. Just notice how you feel moving into this with awareness. And when we move through life with awareness, this is what helps to release the hold of the kleshas. And then taking a moment to notice, what do you feel an aversion to? Maybe in your life right now. Maybe there's something happening in your life that you feel an aversion to, someone in your life or an experience, or maybe it's a part of your practice that you have an aversion towards. So you might just pause and just sit with that if you feel safe to move into that for a moment. You might even just notice what arises, any emotion. How does your body respond? Where do they land? You might even notice what that aversion is towards, if it's a movement or a practice, and even taking a moment to explore it if it feels safe. We're not going to stay too long with Devesha. We're just feeling for another few more breaths here. At any time you feel that moving into Devesha, aversion, and you need a little support, just remember the hand gesture of Hridaya, one hand on the heart and the other hand on top, and that allows you to receive trust and safety, energy to face what is happening in life right now. And then pausing for a few breaths and just transitioning down, so you lie down on your mat or on your couch, wherever you are, just lying flat into Shavasana. And just noticing if your body needs a few movements before you go into it, feel free for that to come in. And then just coming into Shavasana, corpse pose. And as you lie in Shavasana, noticing your relationship to letting go, to the body, noticing your relationship to the evolution of the body dissolving, releasing back to the earth. checking in with yourself right now, seeing if there's a clinging to life, fear, just noticing you are safe as you exhale and feel held by the earth. And allow Mother Earth to rise up and gently hold you. And you might even feel, oh, I feel better rolling on my side or on my belly, or I need to have a blanket or a pillow to hug. And if we release the hold of avidya, this spiritual forgetting, we remember that we are divine and therefore our spirit is immortal. I'm just going to read a piece of poetry to end our practice together by Mary Oliver, and it's called White Owl Flies Into and Out of the Field. Coming down out of the freezing sky with its depths of light like an angel or a Buddha with wings. It was beautiful and accurate, striking the snow and whatever was there with a force that left the imprint of the tips of its wings 5 feet apart, and the grabbing thrust of its feet and the indentation of what had been running through the white valleys of the snow. And then it rose gracefully and flew back to the frozen marshes to lurk there like a lighthouse in the blue shadows. So I thought, maybe death isn't darkness after all, but so much light wrapping itself around us, as soft as feathers, that we are instantly wary of looking and shut our eyes, not without amazement, and let ourselves be carried as through the translucence of Mika to the river that is without the least dapple or shadow, that is nothing but light, scalding aorta light, to which we are washed and washed out of our bones. You might feel the presence of your hands just coming back on the body, just to touch, maybe back to belly, heart. You may feel a little wiggle, a stretch, a yawn. Some of you may want to just rest, lying on the floor for a moment. Some of you may feel that you want to come to seated. You're going to take a moment, pause here. Noticing how the practice is resonating through us, what is arriving, what is present within body and mind.